welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I'm so glad that you're joining me for these messages. It just brings me so much joy to read your cards. Speaking of, my calendar is now open for personal readings. The link for that is in the description below. Of course, anything you could ever want to know about this reading is going to be in the description below. And honestly, that's really all I have. I'm not even sure what decks we're going to be using yet. I just started getting that poking feeling last night to start putting out messages again. So that's what we're going to do. And this is probably the quickest intro I've ever done, but let's get into it.
Great. So let's see who's next. We've been on a roll with the human design profiles, the 3-5. So, in the past, or usually with these readings, I would have some sort of blurb pulled up about the profile, and this time I didn't, and then when I realized that, I went out searching. And there's a lot of great information out there, but nothing was just kind of hitting the spot. So I'm just kind of trusting that wasn't a big part of the message this time around. So I just wanted to give, kind of a brief overview of the profile, and then of course we'll get an oracle card from the Everyday Witch Oracle, and then we'll get more information from the Everyday Witch Tarot. I just got these a week ago. Poor things. I told them they're going right to camera, so anyway, so the third line is the Martyr line. It's all about trial and error and making and breaking bonds. You have to try something in order to figure out if it works or not. And unfortunately, there's a lot of knots. Discovering a lot of what doesn't work. And unfortunately, that could be seen as mistakes or failures. You might have persona, or people may see you as someone who makes a lot of mistakes, but you are the one that would be able to share what is or what does work because you've tried it. You can enter into a situation and you might dismantle it, but it's you're picking everything apart in order to discover what does work. Your strategy and authority would help you determine what experiences would be correct for you. And then, of course, you have the fifth line, Heretic or Heretic. And that line has a projection field attached to it. People generally, sometimes, will project a savior complex onto you. They think that you can come in and save the day, be a hero, become a general, right? There is a bit of a leadership quality with it. But then it's if you step into a role under that projection, you might again, figure out all of the ways that something doesn't work, and to people on the outside, it might seem a bit chaotic, but really it's what you're doing, right? That part of the process of figuring out what does work is figuring out the things that don't. And also with that fifth line, since you kind of have that process, you would then be able to universalize it and share it with strangers, because the fifth line does better with strangers than they do with people who are familiar with them. So the biggest takeaway is to not see failure as a negative, not to see a mistake as a negative, but see it as information, see it as knowledge to help. Let's see, is there anything else I want to share about the 3-5? I can't think of anything. If I do, I'll bring it up. So let's get an oracle card for 3-5s. I have that 5th line projection. On the conscious side, I'm a 5-1. So I know all about that 5th line business as well. And the projection field, which again is why, checking with your strategy and authority before you enter into relationships, jobs, like situations where other people are involved, especially if they're looking to you for a certain outcome or with expectation. Because if you don't live up to that projection, then they say, or they call it burning at the stake. They'll burn you at the stake, which sounds a bit extreme. But that is, kind of how it feels. If you don't live up to the projection, then it's, like their whole perception of you can change pretty quickly. We have hibernation and regeneration. I love this. It kind of looks like they're sleeping in a cave. There's these crystals here. So you could be working with crystals in some capacity. You could be, of course, giving yourself time to rest and rejuvenate. We have the Justice card. It could be, storing your energy for what's to come. 5 more. There is also a level of contentment on their face. Like they are happily resting. So there's even like a pride or proud element to this, like accomplishing something, even with the Justice card, like accomplishing some level of achievement or something. We have the Lovers. We have the 10 of Pentacles. 3 more. The 3 of Cups. Page of Pentacles. 1 more. The Hanged Man. The amount of times that the Hanged Man has shown up in this last position here, it just kind of cracks me up. We have the 10. The 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I couldn't even get it out. Tower, 6 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. What was that? Queen of Wands. All right, let me just make sure everything is in frame. Okay. It's interesting because like with this person that's sleeping, it's like this is either the dream or they're sleeping so soundly because this is their existence, Either way. Let's just start from the beginning. So we start with the Justice card. Justice talks about fairness, the scales balancing. There's a karma aspect to it. There could be some sort of court case going on, some sort of legal something or other. It could be marriage. It could be divorce. It could be anything that involves a contract. And with it paired with the 3 of Cups, which generally talks about celebration, it's support from others. There appears to be some sort of victory here. There's a reason to celebrate with these two paired together. Justice is a card of Libra. There doesn't have to be a Libra involved. Just throwing it out there. And then we have the Lovers. And the Lovers is a card of Gemini. Again, there doesn't have to be a Gemini involved, but just throwing it out there. And the Lovers can be taken literal. This could be a relationship. It could be a destined relationship like soulmate. And of course, relationship can be anything from romantic, platonic, or business. Of course, it would depend on your situation. But there, again, there is this thing about like union and coming together. So again, there could be some sort of contract involved. I mean, marriage is a contract, divorce is a contract, business, if there's any type of paperwork involved with that. And it's almost like with this hibernation and regeneration card, it's like, giving yourself time, because whatever is unfolding in here, it's like, allow yourself time to be in this energy so that you can, kind of store up energy. Fill up your reserves, right? It's also kind of interesting because I know that they're outside. Obviously there's a campfire here. You wouldn't do a campfire inside, but it's interesting because just the colors, just looking at the colors of the background, it looks like there's a purple curtain. Same with, this Justice card. So it's kind of like this is happening on one side of the curtain, this is on the other side. So it has this kind of destined or fated energy to it. This could have happened by like networking or meeting through friends. There could be 3 people involved. But it is kind of interesting because just these 3 cards, I don't even, I hate to put this energy even out there because I don't even really like entertaining it, but I'm going to say it if it comes, if it comes out in the message. This could be a third party situation. It could even just be a third wheel. It could even be bringing in a third if it has to do with like business or investors or something along those lines. This also has a generational quality to it. This figure looks to be a little bit older. This figure is younger than this one, but older than this one. And this figure appears to be like the youngest out of all of them. So there could even be a generational feel to all of this. It could even be healing generational trauma. I feel like I could get lost in these 2 cards for a long time, which is really kind of interesting to me. Just, it literally feels like spiraling. And with the Lovers card, like I said, it certainly could be soulmate. But again, this fated meeting. So it doesn't have to be like romantic by any sense, right? I mean, it could be, like I said, business. It could be platonic, meeting a mentor, meeting a friend. And there is a shared value thing with the Lovers card. The Lovers card also talks about the dance between the masculine and feminine energies, not gender, but the energies of the masculine and feminine. The masculine is initiating, go-getting, laboring, giving. And then the feminine is receiving, being in the flow. It's intuitive, nurturing, right? So it's the balance of those 2 things. And also recognizing the importance of the balance between those 2 things. Balancing the go-getting with receiving. And then we have the Page of Pentacles, which is about a new start. I see the Page of Pentacles as being like the apprentice. It could be a new job, it could be learning a new trade, it could be starting school or taking a course. But we can see them on this card. They're flipping a coin. There's a map on the ground. They have a bag of coins down here. So it's deciding what you want to do. And you could have more than one option presented to you because they're standing here at this crossroads. Now, we could see this in two ways. They either came from one of these paths because that's where they meet right here, and they are going to be walking down this path off of the card where we can't see, or they've reached this fork in the road and they're flipping a coin to go either left or right. Left, there's this little town, there's some houses there, and on the right there's this one tower. So it kind of it has this feeling of like the obvious choice, but for whatever reason they see a benefit to this over that, or at least equal to what's possible on the left hand side, which is really kind of interesting to me. And actually I kind of want to read what the book has to say. I love, so when I got this deck, I got the book that came with it, and I love getting booklets because it just helps me, like expand my own knowledge and understanding of tarot. And I love that. That's my first line in my profile. Although on the sidereal side of human design, I'm a 3-5. So shouts out to the 3-5s. Let's see. It says, if this card represents you or something specific in your life, you have been considering starting a new endeavor or beginning over again in a new career. Now may be the time to go for it. The Page of Pentacles is ready and eager to get started down a new road. He or she may be young or merely young in spirit and experience, about to begin something different from whatever has been done in the past. The page may represent a new job, a new direction for success and prosperity, or a younger person who is depending on you to act as a guide or mentor. The Page of Pentacles is the best prepared for all the pages. The Page of Pentacles is the best prepared of all the pages for whatever lies ahead. But don't mistake preparation for knowledge. The pages sometimes stumble and fall, but they can teach you things along the way if you're paying attention. That is very, not necessarily the young thing. I mean, you can certainly be young, but forging a new path or, kind of going on a new path and being as prepared as you can, but still, picking up experience along the way. And it's really kind of interesting because, like I said on this card, right there on this side, there's this town. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles next to it, which looks pretty similar to this town over here. So it's kind of like either choosing what is familiar, choosing family. It's what is so interesting to me though. I feel like you're taking me on a ride, and I appreciate that. Like, I'm here for it. Just in the sense of, it feels like you've been on this ride, right? Like, I think it's interesting that we start with this hibernation and regeneration, and we end with the Hanged Man. I know we haven't talked about the 10 of Pentacles yet. We will. We're getting there. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself here. But it's like this to me feels like it really is something that you are heavily considering. If this is some like a relationship that involves other people, if this is a relationship where somebody stepped out, if this is even a business relationship that you're trying to decide if it is still something that you want to be a part of, because these three cards leading up to the Page of Pentacles here, it's like the Page of Pentacles is trying to decide what they want to do. Do they want to start on a new path, or do they want to rebuild this relationship? And like I said, there could be other people involved, because the Ten of Pentacles, that is about family. There's also a generational quality on that, like I was mentioning, even with the Three of Cups. But the Ten of Pentacles is about legacy. It's about, having enough to provide for your family. And of course, family can be chosen or biological. It could have to do with your community. It could have to do with your workplace, your business as a whole, right? Like in your employees, because that's the King and Queen of Pentacles. There's the Page right there wearing the same outfit, right? That would be the Knight of Pentacles over there. So it's like everybody is doing their part. I mean, it could even be like a family business. And then the Hanged Man talks about suspension, delay. There can be an element of feeling stuck or worried about being stuck or trapped. But the purpose of the Hanged Man is to see things from a different perspective. And also, they have the key in their hand. So they're not technically stuck. They could get out of this if or when they wanted to. And it really just kind of seems like you are trying to decide if this is something that you want to stay involved with or not, which is really kind of interesting to me. Again, I know I've said that like a few times already, but it is. Let me see. I kind of want to see what this... Sometimes you just need to pull back from the world for a while. Rest, regroup, recharge so you can return stronger or more capable of dealing with whatever awaits you outside your cave. Exactly. I think there's also a reason why I felt called to read that at the end of this reading, because it doesn't even seem like a decision needs to even be made right now. We have the Ten of Pentacles, or excuse me, the Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck, but then we have the Tower behind it. So again, this could be considering what is best for everybody involved in the situation. That's the King and Queen of Cups. That's the Page of Cups. The Knight of Cups is out flying around on his broom, looking for somebody to offer his cup to. That's how it looks in this deck, like for real. That's what they're out there doing. And then, like I said, we have the Tower. This could be you deciding. And again, I want to throw in there that, of course, you have free will. I almost said three will. So weird. But this is saying to me that it's making a decision to burn the house down. Not literally. Don't do that. Don't do that. But, because look at their face. Like they're proud. They're happy that this crumbled. And, the Tower talks about sudden upheaval. Its structures crumbling. But it's only going to take out what is absolutely necessary to go. Like whatever is no longer serving you is going to be taken out. So this could be your decision when you come out of, whenever you go through your process here, you could be deciding to leave the situation, because that's literally what the Six of Swords is. They're getting on this broom and they packed up their swords. Swords have to do with our thoughts. It's making a mental decision. It's making a decision in general to move forward and to move on. There's these two figures here also, and the nine of Pentacles. We go from the Ten of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles, which is individual success. It's independence. There isn't a family on this card, right? That's making a decision to rebuild. You could be, taking yourself on vacation. That's what this feels like to me. Again, even just rejuvenation, like just being able to relax and decompress. Seven of Cups, there would be options opening up to you, even going over your options, weighing your options, seeing what's next. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for taking me on this ride. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.